Namaste, welcome, and aloha. Welcome to the verse titled The Highest Dharma, Unmotivated Devotion, and Complete Satisfaction. We've learned about the transformative power of hearing sacred narratives. Now, this verse brings us to the essence. What should we hear about? What should be the focus of our consciousness? Titled The Highest Dharma. This verse defines the supreme principle, the Dharma that produces unmotivated, uninterrupted devotion, and complete satisfaction of the soul. This is the culmination of the opening teachings. Let us explore this profound verse. First, let us recite the verse in its original Sanskrit. Tasmadikenan mansa Bhagwan Satvatam Patiha. Shrotavyah Kirtitavyashta Dhyayah Pujashta Nityada. These words describe the complete focus of consciousness on the Supreme. Let us understand what they reveal. Now let us go through the raw form of English translation of the verse. The translation, therefore, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Master of all devotees, should always be the sole focus of our minds. He must constantly be heard about, glorified, meditated upon, and worshipped. This describes the highest Dharma, the supreme principle. Let us explore what this means. Now let us look at some core teaching of this verse. This verse defines the supreme dharma, the highest principle or duty. Let us understand the key elements. First, tasmad ekena manasa, therefore, with single pointed mind. Tasmad means, therefore, this is the conclusion of what came before. We've learned about Kali Yuga, essential knowledge, the supreme destination, and the method of hearing. Now, ekana with one mind, with undivided attention, with single pointed focus, not scattered, not fragmented, not divided among many objects, one pointed. Second, Bhagavan Satpatan Pache, the Supreme Lord, the Master of devotees. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the one who possesses all opulences. Satatan Pache, the Master, the Lord of the devotees. This is who should be the focus. Not abstract principles, not impersonal energy, but the Supreme Person. Third, Shrotavyash Kirtitavyash Datsye, he should be heard about and glorified. Shrotavyash, worthy of being heard, should be heard. This connects to the previous verse, the method is hearing. Kirtitavyaha, worthy of being glorified, should be glorified. Not just passive hearing, but active glorification. Fourth, Dhyaya, Pugyashka Nityada. He should be meditated upon and worshipped always. The ash worthy of meditation should be meditated upon. Internal focus, puja worthy of worship, should be worship. External expression, nityada always, constantly, without interruption. This verse teaches four practices: hearing, glorifying, meditating, and worshiping, all focused on the Supreme Lord with undivided attention, constantly. But the core teaching goes deeper. It defines the supreme Dharma, that which produces unmotivated, uninterrupted devotion to the transcendent Lord, by which the soul becomes completely satisfied. Unmotivated, not seeking material gain, not motivated by desire for results, pure devotion. Uninterrupted, constant, continuous, not dependent on circumstances, steady devotion, complete satisfaction, the soul becomes fully satisfied. Not temporary pleasure, but deep, lasting satisfaction. This is the highest Dharma. This is the supreme principle. Now let us look at some modern scientific parallels. This ancient teaching about the highest Dharma corresponds to modern philosophical and psychological understanding. First, consider Immanuel Kant's categorical imperative, one of the most influential ethical principles in Western philosophy. Kant argued, act according to principles that could be universal laws. Do what's right because it's right, not because of consequences. This is unmotivated dharma, doing what's right, not for reward, but because it's the right thing to do. Second, consider virtue ethics, the philosophical tradition from Aristotle through modern thinkers. Virtue ethics focuses not on rules or consequences, but on character development. Who are you becoming? What virtues are you cultivating? This is uninterrupted dharma, consistent practice that shapes character over time. Third, consider research on eudaimonic well being versus hedonic pleasure. Hedonic pleasure is temporary, it comes from external stimulation and fades quickly. Eudaimonic well being is lasting, it comes from meaning, purpose, and living according to your deepest values. Studies consistently show meaning based satisfaction outlasts pleasure based satisfaction. This is exactly what the verse teaches. The supreme Dharma produces complete satisfaction of the soul, not temporary pleasure, but lasting fulfillment. Fourth, consider research on intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation, doing things for external rewards, is less sustainable and less satisfying. Intrinsic motivation, doing things because they align with your values, is more sustainable and more satisfying. This is unmotivated devotion, not seeking external rewards, but acting from internal alignment. Let us now move on to some practical application as it relates to this verse. How do we apply this teaching in our daily lives? First, recognize the difference between unmotivated and motivated action. Most of what we do is motivated. We're seeking some result, some reward, some outcome. But the highest dharma is unmotivated, doing what's right because it's right, not because of what you'll get. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? For external reward or because it aligns with who I want to be? Second, develop intrinsic values rather than chasing external validation. External validation is endless. There's always another achievement, another approval, another status marker. But intrinsic values, integrity, compassion, devotion, truth, these are self sustaining. These produce lasting satisfaction. Third, build character through consistent practice nityada always. Character is not built in dramatic moments. Character is built in daily practice, small actions repeated consistently over time. This is uninterrupted dharma, not occasional inspiration, but constant practice. Fourth, focus your consciousness with single pointed attention, ekena manasa. In Kali Yuga, attention is fragmented. We are pulled in 1,000 directions. The highest dharma requires focused attention. Choose your focus consciously, make it single pointed. Fifth, engage in the four practices: hearing, glorifying, meditating, and worshiping. Hearing, consume content that connects you to the Supreme, sacred narratives, spiritual teachings. Glorifying, speak about what's highest, what's transcendent. Share what uplifts, meditating, internal focus. Contemplation, prayer, connecting your consciousness to something greater. Worshipping, external expression. Ritual, service, devotional practice. Sixth, recognize that complete satisfaction comes from alignment, not achievement. You won't find lasting satisfaction in accumulation, in status, in pleasure. Lasting satisfaction comes from alignment. When your actions align with your deepest values, when your life expresses devotion to something greater, this is the highest Dharma. Now, let us look at how this verse can help our young people. For young people, this verse offers a powerful framework for decision making. You're making choices about career, relationships, lifestyle, you're building your life. Here's the crucial question: are you doing things for external validation, views, likes, status, or because they align with who you want to be? Think about the best content creators. They don't just chase views, they make content they themselves would want to watch. They create from intrinsic motivation. The same principle applies to your life. Don't just chase external markers of success. Do things that align with your deepest values. Build character through consistent practice. Focus on who you're becoming, not just what you're achieving. This is the path to lasting satisfaction. This is the highest Dharma. Now let us look at how this verse can help our older generation folks. For those with more life experience, this verse speaks to something you've likely discovered. You've achieved things, you've accumulated accomplishments, you've experienced various pleasures, and you've probably discovered the deepest satisfaction comes not from accumulation, but from integrity. Integrity means alignment. When your actions align with your values, when your life expresses what you hold most sacred. The satisfaction of a life well lived doesn't come from the size of your achievements, it comes from the consistency of your character. Did you do what was right even when it was difficult? Did you maintain your principles even when it cost you? This is the highest Dharma. This is what produces complete satisfaction. What you can offer younger generations is this wisdom. Build integrity, align your actions with your deepest values. This is what truly satisfies. In conclusion, we can say this verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam defines the highest Dharma. The Supreme Lord should be the sole focus of our consciousness, heard about, glorified, meditated upon, and worshipped constantly with single pointed attention. The Supreme Dharma produces unmotivated, uninterrupted devotion by which the soul becomes completely satisfied. Do what's right because it's right. Build character through consistent practice. Focus your consciousness with single pointed attention. This is the path to complete satisfaction. This is the highest Dharma. This verse is the culmination of the opening teachings. It defines the highest Dharma, the supreme principle that produces complete satisfaction. Thank you, Namaste, and Mahalo for joining me in this exploration of this verse. The highest Dharma, unmotivated devotion, and complete satisfaction. Now we will move on to next verse.